Hello, my name is Jesper Carstensen of Dimension Software, and today in this session I'm going to show you how to get dynamic content into your EDI documents. Before I open the interchange editor to show you that, I'll just briefly point out that in this opening screen here we have a possibility to enter the sender ILN and qualifier as well as the receiver ILN and qualifier. That is the EDI addresses of the sender and the receiver. The reason for pointing that out is because we'll be using that in a minute. To get dynamic content into your EDI file, you go into the interchange editor, and this is a VICS fix document, and I'm going to show how to fill in some dynamic content into the ISA segment, which is the document header of a VIX EDI document. The first interesting element of this segment is this interchange ID qualifier, and if we open that, you'll see that I've here selected a value type of sender qualifier. What that does is it takes the EDI address from the opening screen that I showed you just a second ago and put the value of the qualifier of that sender address into this particular field. The same way we have here in the next element, we have the center ID, and here we use the center ILN. So we take the actual address from the opening screen and put it in here. We could also, because those addresses and stuff, they are relatively static. They're static within this interchange, within this task, you could say. So we could also have put them in as static values, but putting them in this opening screen makes everything more reusable, because you can reuse the same interchange with other addresses. So that's the reason why it's a good idea to do that. We have also other possibilities to put in dynamic data. Here we have, for instance, a value type of now date. What that does is it puts in the date, today's date, into the field when you run the tool, and of course you can format that in various ways. The next one here is the time. Same thing. We take the value type called now type and put that in. So these are examples of dynamic values in EDI files. But of course they are not the real interesting examples, because the real interesting examples are when we take data from the ERP system, which means we have to take data from the record set that is being fed into this create EDI file tool. To show how we do that, I'll go into the next segment of the file. I'll go into the next group. I'll go into the document header. And I will take this beginning segment for invoice. The first one that I'm going to show you is the invoice date here, where we want some data from the record set, because we want the invoice date to be put into this field in the EDI file. To show you how to do that, I'll just remove this, and then I will go down here and get hold of my browser, my field browser from TaskCentre. And this, in the browser, we can see this is the record source of this step. So this is the data that is being fed into this. And if I go in here, I can find the doc date, and I can drag that down into this field. And that's how we integrate with TaskCentre and the record set that we get in from TaskCentre. At the same time, we set the value type to value, and that's assigned to the tool when it runs, that it needs to evaluate this as a TaskCentre value. We'll just take another example as well. The invoice number here, it's same thing. We've got this step.record source docnum, so we take it from the. I'll just do it again so you can see it. We take it from the record set, and we take the docnum property and just drag it over and let it go, and that's it. So that's the way we get data from the record set into the EDI file. In the same way, we can also get variable data. Yes, please save that. And I will show you. Oh, sorry, I'll show you that in another segment. Here we go. Transaction set header. This one takes is supposed to take the transaction set control number, and that is being kept as a variable in this implementation. So we go into the browser again, select task because we want the task variables, and then we have the interchange control number. I drag that across, and it's being put in here, so now it'll take the value of this interchange control number and put into the document when the tool runs. And then of course I'll need some functions or something to increase this interchange control number before it's being used. That could be placed here in the same element, which I usually do because it makes it easier to find. So what I'll do here, I'll go into the browser again, and then I have this function called increase interchange control number. I'll drag that in here. What that does is, before this element is being run, when the tool runs, before this element is being worked on, the first thing it'll do is it will run this function, which will then increase the interchange control number. We can just have a very brief look at the function, see what it looks like. And you can see here it just takes the variable, and increases that. Okay, that's all I'm going to tell you today about how to get dynamic content into your EDI files. Thank you for watching, and welcome back.